Hello and welcome to the final episode of the Dark Cloud Rim Dungeon Entry Challenge. I've been going at this for 3 months. Episode 45. Roughly 3 months. Actually 3 months, right? Because didn't I start at like the start of a month? Oh my gosh. And now it's just a question of getting through basically 11 floors in a boss fight all in 1 hour. Do I think I can do it? Of course I do. That's why I'm saying that I'm going to do it. If it takes more than an hour, oh well. I'm specifically doing it in this episode to be released at the end of November 2022. You're either weak to fire or holy. Not particularly weak to fire. Yeah, there we go. Oh! You get food! So as you remember last time, I found so much revival powder. Ah, no. Oh no! That's right, that thing two-shots me. That was pretty random, okay. Okay, there we go. Die. Thank you for dying with me today. Oh, that looks like the exit right there. Well, this way was pretty much a waste of time except for finding the exit. So now let's jump down through another way. Another path, another side of me, as it were, maybe. Except it's not actually me, it's just this random dungeon. But still, let's go down here. No, you don't. Yeah. Yeah, when stamina up, that only does about 28 damage, which is definitely a heck of a lot less. You know what's good? I'm having some chicken. Yum, 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 yum. I myself actually haven't eaten yet today. I'll grab something to eat after I finish recording this. It's only like noon. Oh gosh. Talking so much with people who are just basically as literal as I used to be has gone so annoying. Because instead of just saying, oh, it's noon, it's like, well, it's 11:59. It's not noon. It's like, okay, well, it's basically noon. Well, it's not basically noon. It's an entire minute off. It's basically noon. Like, you know, $19.99 is basically $20. Actually, with tax, because tax is applied to everything after the sticker price in this country, $19.99, you'll be paying over $20. Well, nope. Don't care for those. Don't need them. Still no floor key. Oh no, another one of them? Okay, cool, perfect. No water in here? Nope, okay. I'm just going to... I'm just going to repair this real quick. And then be on my way. Right, Cinnamon? Yeah, the categories. Repair the thing, be on way. Hey, Cinnamon, did you want to sit on me? Did you want to sit on me lap? More accurately, did you want to sit on me? Cinnamon? Maybe. Yeah, well, I don't know. Been through a lot with this game. Next month, there'll be a whole bunch of your quests too. I'm actually already uploading the episodes now. And yes, I had another CEDH game that wound up with somebody yelling at me. I told them that they couldn't just use me the way that they wanted to, but they were like, no, I'm gonna use you, and it's your fault if you don't let me. So I'm like, I won't let you. Screw you. They said that if I didn't let them use me, that they were going to scoop. So I called their bluff. I didn't let them use me, and then they didn't scoop. They didn't win, but also I didn't win, and the person that they were trying to use me against also didn't win. Yeah, the fourth player won. It's CD. It's 4-player. Alright, well that sure took a while. Hi, yes, Cinnamon, I see you. Oh, come on. Perish already. Is it only 10 or is that like 100? Okay. Turns out it can basically just one-shot me, so let's not let it do that. Come on. I'm just here thinking, gee, I haven't seen a Mimic in a while. And apparently I'm still not going to see a Mimic. Just double checking. Nope, nothing up here. Okay, cool. Yeah, a D&D game in the style of Dark Cloud. I've tried a D&D game in the style of Dark Cloud 2. That goes well for a little while, and then people start losing interest incredibly fast, and that just kind of dies, and that's unfortunate. Are there any other monsters in this entire dungeon other than those two? Like, sorry. Are there any other monster types in this entire dungeon other than those two? Have to be very specific about everything, because pretty sure my girlfriend has autism. So if I try to say stuff like, oh, it was a couple, but it was anything other than specifically two of a thing, then she goes, a couple has to be two. A couple is only two. A couple is specifically two. It's only two. A couple is two. A couple is two. And it's like, doesn't have to be specifically two. A couple, a few, a number, some. But I've gotten used to saying, like, a couple of things. Because that's what my parents say. That's what, like, my teachers said. That's what people I've hung out with for pretty much my entire life have said. Oh, yeah, it's just a couple of problems. Yeah, that's what the doctor said about me. It's just have a couple of problems. And it's like, that is really stretching the definition of couple. So why is this not hitting? Yeah, get hit, run back here. I will admit, trying to do this without any of the healing pools would definitely be harder. And considering Dark Cloud 2 has a much lower number, much lesser number of healing pools, I'm willing to really believe that this challenge would be more difficult in that game. But I kind of already have my idea for my next semi-daily upload series. Yeah, I mean, my next semi-daily upload series is going to be Your Quest 2. A game that, you might recall, I tried to play through twice before. Maybe 3 times before. At least twice. Remember the very first time was right after I'd finished Your Quest. And I just couldn't really get... I don't know, it just took a lot longer than I thought I was going to, so I kind of stopped it after a couple of hours and went, yeah, I'll pick this up later. And I eventually picked it up playing through with Azure until we started encountering the game crashing bug where it just, I don't know, something wrong with the memory and it just starts crashing every so often. And then that problem got fixed, and I got a message by the developer being all like, hey, I fixed that bug. Because the developer is just one person. Oh my gosh, I have like, it's like dust, like, everywhere. It's annoying. Yeah, can't so easily vacuum dust out of the air. Okay, thanks. Oh my gosh, it is one of those 3. Oh, this sucks. What's the thing? Right. So I tried playing through it with Azure, but that didn't go well because, yeah, the game crashed. And then I got a message like, hey, I updated it. I fixed the issue that was causing the game to crash. It was specifically, if you reload a save, the map data doesn't read properly. So it tries to load like a... Yeah. You're on one map, but with the data of another map, and that replaces, like, enemies and ores and stuff. And it's like, that seems like all well and good, because on, like, you know, floor 1, floor 2, you can mine all of the ore, save, reload, mine all of the ore again, and just get, like, infinite copper and stone that way. It's like, oh, hey, this is awesome. But as it turns out, not so awesome, considering that by floor, I don't know, 5 or something like that, the game will just go, hey, I don't know what I'm doing, and just crash. Yeah, sorry, what am I trying to read now? And it just crashes. So it's And, like, if you've seen the videos, you see that it can crash after, like, a couple of seconds of gameplay. Like, I load up the game file, I'm like, okay. And then I take, like, 2 steps, and it crashes. Yes, I take a couple of steps. I take a number of steps, because that's what I've been trying to go through with instead, is saying a number. It's like, oh yeah, there were a number of people there. It's like, could you be any more specific? No. Not unless you accept that a couple is not specifically only 2. Then no. There we go. Just have to get the timing just right. Oh my gosh. Stop reviving! This thing has revived 3 times now. And of course it doesn't even have the key. So yeah. Apparently the bug has been fixed, so that's cool. So yeah, I decided to go for one, well, not final, but one more playthrough of the game. Yeah. One more playthrough of the game to test if everything is actually working the way it's supposed to, and things got a bit exciting there for a little while. Things were not quite as they were supposed to be, of course. But hey, that's just all par for the course, right? So one more empty spot somewhere. There. Okay. It's a big stuff. Okay, then. That's understandable. Oh, no, this one is the crystal eye. Of course it is. Hi, Cinnamon, what's up? I see. I mean, I might as well start trashing these crystal eyes, right? Because I'm not using them. I'm not about to start using them. I don't have to, like, pad for time on this playthrough or this episode or anything. I actually have to rush, but it's really hard to rush considering I made it through 3 floors in, like, 20 minutes. Wow. That was bad. Okay, bombs are... Yeah, it's a good thing I replaced the auto repair powder and not the revival powder, huh? Woohoo! It's almost just like Dark Souls. You just have to know the enemy's movements, duck and weave, hit them when they don't have their shields up. Yeah, hit them in the couple of frames that they're actually vulnerable, and just keep doing that over and over again until they die. Just like real life. What? I didn't say anything. I should be saying stuff. I'm recording. I should be saying all sorts of things. There's not much to be said. Looking forward to playing some Pokemon and such. Revival powder? Nope. Key? Nope. Nope. Woohoo, key! Alright, it's just some water. Whatevs. If I could somehow mod the game in such a way as to just give myself a Synsphere that all it does is give, was it Drain and Drought? Or just, mod it so all weapons have Drain and Drought. I could totally do a vampirism challenge run. I'd totally be down for that playthrough, but just vampire stuff. At least bats are super easy to kill with the slingshot. Alright, 247. About 800, 900, 800 to 900. This is like 1,000. Oh my gosh. Yeah, don't pin me out. Don't force me. No, you don't. So that's about 500. Again, about 500. Ugh. Alright, just not holy. Anything else, just not holy. He runs back far enough so that he can wheel into me without actually hurting me. How considerate. Alright, well, I did all of that and didn't get the key, so... Oh, look at that. Oh, it looks like wind isn't the best for this bat, huh? Yeah, definitely holy. There's so many just, like, evil creatures here that it's like, yeah, just use holy for pretty much everything. So much stuff is just weak to holy in this dungeon. Oh my gosh, 2 of these. Yeah, far enough away that they don't try to block. I don't do a lot of damage, but it's the difference between healing items and repair powders right now. If you go closer, you might get hit. Well, also it's real time. But if you get closer, I might get hit, which means I would require healing items. Okay. Sorry, something big and gray at the corner of my screen. Turns out it's just the pillar. But also, if you go nice and close, they can block. And them blocking is not a good thing. I should have tried for one more floor last episode, but oh well. Don't think it was until I started uploading it that I realized, oh hey, I'm almost like done. Remember when I was like, oh yeah, this might, like, I could probably do this in 3 episodes. I have to double check through my uploads to see actually how many episodes this all took. Yeah, Statue Dog, you can't just, like, stand far away from it and just keep attacking. Stand far away from it, it just turns into a statue. It's like a weeping angel that way. In its passive state, it's completely invulnerable. Can't do anything to it. I will also point out, as mentioned before, people often say that this character is the weakest. Oh, right. Using ice, not even holy. Also, hold on. Repair. I mean, like, obviously just repair it, right? It's a big old part of an invisible wall around the actual walls. Nope, nothing. Nope. All this out was essentially pointless. No exit this way. Oh, look. That's why I didn't want to heal. I knew that there was going to be a water pool coming up. Attribute more ice. Alright, repair powder. I think you're particularly weak to fire, aren't you? About 800. A little bit higher. Because you think that armor all heats up, that's bound to get mighty uncomfortable. Oh gosh, there's a whole thing with like D&D and people doing all like, I'm gonna cast heat metal on that character's armor and make them like burn and stuff and use them against themselves. And like, I think that's like part of heat armor that you can do that, except it's not guaranteed, right? If you try to cast a spell targeting something that someone is like carrying, holding, or wearing, an item in someone's possession, they still get to save. So it's not a no save, you take like 3d10 fire damage from a cheapo little spell. It's like, it's not guaranteed. But it's also stuff like, oh yeah, well I'll just cast create water in that person's lungs. Like, can you see into that person's lungs? No. Then you can't create water into that either. And like, yeah, create water is weird because apparently, what is it? You can't create water in a thing. You have to create water like in the air and then make it like rain or something. It's been a while since I actually read the rulings. I just remember that it's really weird and a lot of people just mess it up because they don't really care enough to do it by exactly how it's worded. Unless they want to... Yeah, people don't really care to use those little trinket spells exactly as they're worded because they're trying to have fun. Which I'm in favor of, but your method of having fun is, hey, I'm going to break the game with a level 0 spell and then just keep doing it constantly, much to the annoyance of everyone else at the table. That's not really so fun anymore. Like, yeah, sure, if a D&D group wants to go, it's like, oh yeah, but just a party of, yeah, all 5 of us have access to the create water spell at will, and whenever we come up against something, we're just going to create water in its lungs and kill it. We're just going to create water in the lungs of all of our problems and kill them all, and that's how we have fun. And it's like, I mean, if everyone in the group is fine with that being the way that you handle every single problem, including the DM and every player, sure, fine. But if it's just one person who does that and everyone else is annoyed by them, then they should stop. Apparently there's some stuff recently about sea invisibility, 5th level, and how the invisibility spell is worded as you become invisible and you gain these benefits from being invisible as 2 separate parts of the spell. So even if you're somehow not invisible, like say someone can see you, you still gain the benefits from being invisible despite not actually being invisible, because the people who wrote it assumed that people would be smarter and be able to read the rules as implied, despite, you know, people going off of rules as written to power game for the past 40 years now. So I checked to make sure there's nothing else in here. Yeah, people have been using rules as written to try to power game D&D since D&D started, right? Like, right? It's just been a part of the game. That's part of what people have fun with, and But it's also a thing that people tend to use to annoy other people. It's like, oh, well, see, you have seen invisibility up, and they're invisible, but they still get the advantages of being invisible because, yeah, sure, you have seen invisibility, but you don't have, like, remove benefits of invisibility up. So they still get all of their benefits, and you can't do anything about it unless you get a remove benefits of invisibility spell. Unless you just flat out dispel them, because that would just make the spell altogether end. But see invisibility, according to these people, does actually nothing. Because apparently you being invisible is a different state from being invisible, or something stupid like that. Whoa! Key? No. Key. Okay. I wasn't gonna say it because I didn't want to jinx myself. I was gonna ask if the chest had a key. Turns out it did. I didn't even have to say it. No. No, you don't. Well, okay then. Why does he a shining golden spot on the ground just up there? That's weird. I can't even see the monster in the corner. Oh, did I freeze it again just after it unfroze? I think so. That's neat. Is that a stone golem? Nope, it's one of these things again. Run. Oh no, this is the map. There's no point in looking at that. Meow. And like, if you really go out to try to break D&D, a lot of the rules and stuff in there have a lot of resiliency against being broken. Like, say, Regenerate. Regenerate can only be used, Regenerate is only useful if the creature in question has a Constitution score. It's only useful if they have a Constitution score, which means it cannot be taken by undead or non-living constructs, because those don't have a Constitution score. And whenever they take damage, they actually take non-lethal damage instead, unless it's a thing that bypasses their regeneration. There are a few things that get noted as bypassing certain regenerations in the thing that grants regeneration, generally. Oh, hey. Yeah. And because undead and constructs, aka, the exact creatures that don't have a Constitution score, they can't take non-lethal damage, having a generation would be broken. Because can't take lethal damage, it gets turned to non-lethal, and non-lethal gets turned into nothing at all. That's just a case of, yeah, can't take damage. And from my searching of D&D 3rd edition and 3.5 edition, there are no ways to give regeneration to an undead or a construct. Well, no way to give regeneration to a creature that already, can't take non-lethal damage. Well, there is. There's a template of half undead. And if, when a creature becomes half undead through this template, there are a number of different types of half undead that they can become. One of them being the Gheden, 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 as I pronounce it. And that one specifically keeps its constitution score, but also does not take non-lethal damage. So it specifically keeps its con score, but also takes no non-lethal damage. So if you give that template to something with Regeneration, then, strictly speaking, that creature just does not take damage unless again, it's something that bypasses their regeneration. So yeah, something like, say, Wendigo, template that gives regeneration, among other things. Regeneration, sans, fire, because most regenerations are sans, fire, and acid. Wendigo is specifically just regeneration, sans, fire. So if you make something a Wendigo and also give it immunity to fire, so it just flat out can't take any fire damage, like, period. Oh my... No. Resurrection powers have to stay on top. Alright, cool. So, yeah. And since we're already in the market of templates, Half Dragon, Red Dragon, or Gold Dragon gives immunity to fire damage. Or, yeah, immunity to fire. So if you apply Wendigo, Half Dragon, Red or Gold, and Half Undead Geddon to a creature, they just flat out become immune to damage. Period. That took a couple of hours of searching, I think. Maybe. I forget what the total level adjustment is. I forget what the total CR modifier is, because it's not level adjustment, because you can't legally apply Wendigo to a player character. Because, of course, if you did, then... yeah. Wendigo is a really interesting template, though. Because in order to get it, you have to, like, get a disease, and, like... you have to get a specific disease, or something like a disease, that drains your wisdom. I think it's like 1 point every day unless you make a will save. And it might be a clause on if you make a good enough will save, then you're just saved flat out. Not too sure about that. But it is possible to get cured, of course. But if your will score falls to 0 from it, then you basically just run off into the night and burn off your feet, and you become a Wendigo. With the cannibalism and the flying and all that stuff going for you. Bandit Slingshot. This should have the steel attribute, right? Yeah. Perfect. I don't think it's actually frozen, because now it's frozen. "53 repair powders. Dear Lord, no. Noki, still. Uh, but yeah, normally in D&D, if a character's will score goes all the way down to 0, then they, like, fall into a coma. Yeah, if the mental scores go to 0, they fall into a coma. If the strength scores, if the, was it, physical scores fall down to 0, then they just can't move. Or die. So yeah, normally you'd fall into a coma for hitting 0 wisdom, so you wouldn't be able to run off into the night. However, the Wendigo template gives you a +2 bonus to wisdom. Which means... so yeah, you fall down to 0 wisdom, you go insane, you get 2 points, and then you're able to still run off into the night. So it's not actually a case of all newly created Wendigos having to... Oh, there we go. You know, having to go into a coma for a couple of days. Yeah, being able to do attribute damage in D&D is sometimes, like, quite a big thing. Like, dealing constitution damage, every 2 points means that they lose 1 HP for each of the hit dice. It's quite a beast to keep track of it for a DM, but yeah, find some squishy wizard and just, like, keep attacking them. Yeah, find some squishy wizard and just keep hitting them with, like, strength damage. Boom. Find some dumb brute barbarian thing and keep hitting them for intelligence or charisma damage. Heck, pair up with a wizard that has save or die spells, and just drain whatever stat they use for that saving throw. Wisdom, dexterity, constitution. Heck, team up with your fighter's sword and keep hitting the acrobat with dexterity drain. It's like, keep hitting the wizard with intelligence drain so their spells are less impactful, and if you can somehow drain their intelligence by enough, then they just can't cast the most impactful spells. Because you have to have a certain score in your caster attribute in order to even cast spells of certain levels. Oh. Well. We might have a whole lot of revival power, but that doesn't mean I want to waste it all, you know? I was getting into a really good loop there. Oh my gosh, finally, an actually trapped chest. Destruction ring, it was going to explode. Ta-da! I just have to find the exit. Hello, can you help me find the exit? No! Can you show me the exit? This is probably not it, huh? Not the exit. Oh gosh, wait, there's a chance I might actually need silver key, though. In which case I'd have to use one of those 3 chests, which means I'd have to go all the way back down there again. Wait a second, I don't need you. Map? Nope, I need the silver key. And it has to be in one of those 3 chests, as well as the map. Sigh! Okay, these two I can easily reach. If one of these is silver key, I'm good. Yeah, I should have just grabbed these two. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, we still have 2 more regular dungeon floors to go through and then a boss fight in the next 10 minutes. So if the next 2 floors could be quick and easy, that would be cool with me. Okay. Come on. Come on. On floor 98. Honestly, I could just about keep going through this dungeon, like, pretty much forever, right? As long as I can keep taking items off of enemies. As long as they can keep providing me with water ponds to heal up in. I could probably keep this going on for indefinitely. Yeah, as long as they keep giving me repair powders, and I keep hitting ponds every so often to heal up. Yeah, I could keep this going indefinitely. Heck, even if they stop giving repair powders, I'm probably good for another, what, 100 or so floors? I only really need 1 repair powder every other floor. As long as I keep opening chests, I'm bound to hit that much. Even without actually relying on monsters to steal from or to get the drops off of. Woo, Dran's Feather. Speaking of having too many repair powders. Alright, I mean, if this has the key, then that's cool. Come on. Here we go. If I was out of resurrection powders, I'd definitely go over to there, but as it stands, I can do this. Well, I knocked it down and out. Well, I don't think this has the key. I guess. I don't know. Anyway. Key? Nope, of course not. Sigh. I mean, to be fair, this could have... If this doesn't have the key... I mean, we know that the other chest has the silver key, but this could just have the floor key, and then we don't have to go all the way up there, but nope, it does not. Drop that, take this, and run all the way back. Yeah, imagine the frustration if the final boss fight winds up taking an hour. I mean, I really hope it doesn't. It's just supposed to be a regular old boss. It's actually a duel that takes a solid hour to complete. Oh, gosh. Could you imagine? But there aren't supposed to be any more duels after the airship. Even though that whole fighting the Dark Genie while in the airship thing could make for a really cool duel, but no. Yeah, throwing items just becomes so useless here. Sure, they might do a few hundred damage, but that isn't so useful when the enemy has a few thousand health. Has over 10,000 health. One little, 180 damage bomb isn't gonna cut it anymore. Alrighty. To the next floor. Dear Lord, don't hit the wrong button. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. No, no, no. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Gosh, I was hoping for that key. Oh, that is stupid. That was stupid and arbitrary. Alright. Now we can just see. Okay, so this Giant's Feather, strictly speaking, probably not even needed. How many more unnecessary Giant's Feathers do we still have? 5. 5 that are strictly not needed, and a 6 that is really probably not needed. As we go to the final floor. To the next floor. Floor number 100. Watch this actually be a 200 floor thing. Nope. Da 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 da. I hear wings. Is it Dwan? It's the moons. Crash! Black Knight Pendragon. Whoa, why did you start off so close? Okay, wait, hold on. Any... No. No. Okay, wait. Holy's doing a solid 570. Wind also does a solid 570. Well, I gotta determine if one specific attribute does more than the others, right? Still looks like a solid 570. Yeah, the bullet in the air changes attribute. Okay, as long as we have an attribute, we're good. Doesn't matter what the attribute is. So each 2 hits is another 1,000 life this thing has. We get close, we deal about 50% extra. Yeah, you can't even use the Giant's Feather while you're locked onto something. And to think I was going to play this without my headphones on, I wouldn't have the audio cues. I can barely see it when it swings its scythe, so I actually just have to rely on the audio cues. And I really wish this boss had a health bar so I could see how much I'm doing. Am I like 90% of the way done, or am I like 10%? Like, no, it's just gonna die eventually. Watch, I'm gonna deal with like the big, like, beastie beast on the bottom. And then it's just gonna be the scythe wielder. Lance wielder? Against me. See? Like I said, I dealt with the big beastie beast on the bottom. Okay. No more healing items. I just have to rely on my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 revival powders. What? There's an invisible wall right there. Oh my gosh, just making contact with the sword is enough to kill. When it does the teleport, I actually just have to back up. Don't move to the side, don't try to strafe. Oh my gosh, I might not actually have enough to do this. Just back up. Just flat back. Just flat back up. Stand just far enough away that if you do throw at me, I'm good. Why is there an invisible object right there? There's like an invisible chest or something. Right there. I did it! Revival powder used! And now you're, of course, taking all the credit, even though it's the cat who did all the work. But... Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Chronicle 2. Acquired. Because it can build up to the Chronicle. But then you can get the Chronicle 2. This way. Check this. Oh my god. Endurance starts off at max. Much stuff starts off really well. Actually, if we do... Wait. Wait, what? Did this take off any and all equips that were on weapons? Oh no, I had that on the slingshot, not on the dagger. Okay. Yeah. 350 max attack, 200 max magic. The strongest weapon of the game. Oh, wait. Somewhere around here there was an invisible object, right? We had the strongest weapon in the game, and that's it. Now we're just kind of stuck on the boss floor. But yeah, at least we still have our Atlamelia, right? So, the unfortunate part about this is that we can't actually save the game like this. You see, our option is to leave the dungeon, so... Safe scene here. So I don't think there's anything else that we can do here, but just in case. No Santa bosses, let's mind connect to the Fairy King and leave. And with that, let's save the game. Apparently, I don't have memory card in slot 1, but I have one in slot 2. That's weird. 17 dungeon entries to beat the game. Strictly speaking, 18, but one of them wound up not counting. 46, almost 46 and a half hours of gameplay. Down by a number of minutes. But this is all we need to beat Dark Cloud.